Pokemon. Everybody knows what a Pokemon is. Go and ask your grandma what a Charmander is, she'll say Hamilton. Pokemon is one of the most well-known things in the entire world. It's on everything. Nintendo-wise, that is. Like the Switch, for example. Pokemon has a few games on Switch, and I'm here to talk about these really good games that everybody loves. Maybe. Mainline games, though. If I were to talk about every Pokemon game, they would already announce Pokemon Door. Let's go Pikachu and Eevee, the game where you go with Pikachu or Eevee. These two games are remakes of OG Pokemon Yellow, although you mainly spend your time catching the Gen 1 Pokemon inside the game. The main Pokemon you have in this game is either Pikachu or Eevee. They're your partner Pokemon. Game Freak dropped an entire controller specifically for this game, the Pokeball Plus. A controller made to be used with one hand, perfect for when you're too busy itching your leg. People usually say this is the go-to way to play Gen 1, and I can agree. New Gen console, kinda. Portability once again, and with multiple controller options. I do have one problem with this game though. Why is it still $60? This game is nearly old enough for kindergarten. Now, Sword and Shield. These were the big Pokemon games to drop on the Switch, an entirely new generation of Pokemon on a new generation console. And how was the game perceived? That's besides the point. I think Sword and Shield are really fun games. Sure, the story is kinda whatever, not to mention the characters are very hit or miss, but this game has some positives to it, mostly in the Pokemon designs. The starters are really cool, except one. Some of the music is quite nice, and it's got EXP share! That's right, I'm very lazy and stinky. I advocate for EXP share. The Pokemon fans are riding outside! Sword and Shield's art design, I think is really good. From the environments to the Pokemon designs, but I think it shines in the gym leader designs. They are all bangers, from Alistair to Bay to Nessa to even Melody. Oh my gosh, she bad! Now I still have yet to beat this game, still gotta beat the 8th gym and do the Elite Four and whatever. I'll do that eventually. One last note, Hop is one of the most annoying characters I've ever seen in any video game. I see sympathy for him sometimes, but he doesn't deserve it. Bro is so trash, never lost a fight to him once. He's pathetic, all my homies hate Hop. Okay, I'm done. Oh boy, the Gen 4 remakes. You know, the one everyone adores. I personally own an OG copy of Pokemon Pearl, so I'm not accompanied with the remakes. Still gonna talk though. When these games were released, people were mixed about it. I've heard people say they love the game and others don't. I'm sure it's got its fair share of bugs and glitches, but every game does. Now, I've also heard that it's just a lazy remake or a cash grab. People complained about the EXP share being on. I think it's great though, but once again, I'm lazy. Some people didn't like the art style. Now, I can kind of see where they're coming from. The game sometimes looked like the bloom is up to an 11, but I wouldn't call it bad by any means. Some things I heard the most though is in some areas the game wasn't faithful to the original. But regardless, even with all these complaints and annoyances with the game, it's just a regular Pokemon game at the end of the day. Same old regions, same old Pokemon. It's still just a Pokemon game. Now, with tiny chess pieces as characters. Speaking of BDSP being just a regular Pokemon game, this one definitely isn't, and certain people weren't too happy about it. Now this game right here is my favorite Pokemon game, and good news, most people like this game as well. Most of them. An open world Pokemon game where you can just run around and catch every Pokemon you see. Now the game is also very addicting. I was hooked once I started playing. Now the game had a lot of hype behind it when the first few trailers dropped. Cautious is what the fans were. You know, sometimes I keep forgetting this game dropped in early 2022. This game will be a year old in just a few weeks. Legends Arceus is pretty much an open world Gen 4 game. There are lots of other generations sprinkled in as well, but it's mainly Gen 4. I mean, you fight both the legendaries from that gen, not to mention Volo's fight might as well be Cynthia's fight at the end of the game. Although none of the starters are from Gen 4, maybe that's because the professor, I don't know, cooked them. Now the Hisuian region gave us all new final evolution forms for the starters, with Typhlosion looking like he vapes and drinks at high school football games while he himself is a college student. Overall, this game is a breath of fresh air for Pokemon games. I believe this game was groundwork though. Much like with Frontiers, it's a foundation for the next installment. A Game Freak already released that installment. The latest and greatest Pokemon game. Now this game only dropped like what, a month and a half ago, and wow was this game burned at the stake when it released. If you were on Twitter at all during the game's launch or even now, you would have seen the bugs and glitches and horrible frame rate of this game. Now the state of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was clearly unfinished. I for one found all the glitches to be just plain stupid and funny, along with others, but that frame rate, jeez, it is something else. Those Twitter clips I saw had me so confused. Pokemon is a AAA game. Those games should be made to run on the console well, but regardless of the performance or glitches, this game is genuinely well liked. I've seen and heard people say this is one of the best and most fun Pokemon games period, now mainly with its gameplay and its story, and apparently being one of the best. Same with the cast. You've got Goku, this guy, and the stupid nerd. People liked the gym leaders in this game as well, like with Sword and Shield. Gym leaders' designs are really, really good once again, with leaders like Rhyme.
Nah, we ain't finna let bygones be bygones, bro. Fuck a legendary Pokemon. I got some hard meat you can ride on.
Grusa, normal guy, and Iono. Y'all know Iono. The best one? You know, better than the rest? I will die on this floor. But of course, with the new generation comes new Pokemon. Gen 9 has some pretty good designs that I like. The entire Sprigatito line, Gimme Ghoul, Palmy, Only Palmy, the evolutions make me want to cry, Looper's Paldean form, Bellibolt, and of course, my favorite Gen 9 Pokemon, and one of my favorite Pokemon ever, Tinkaton. I'm telling y'all, that Tink weigh a ton. Shh, don't tell Nintendo what I'm about to tell you guys. But I played the new Pokemon games, aka Scarlet and Violet, on an emulator. Oh no, here they come!